Why are there not more people talking about the hidden struggles homeless women face during their periods? This is a crisis that unfolds in silence, right in the heart of our cities and communities, one that impacts health, dignity, and self-worth in ways most of us never have to consider. For many, a new day means a hot shower, a fresh cup of coffee, and the comfort of routine. But for women experiencing homelessness, each sunrise brings a wave of uncertainty and anxiety. The city wakes up around them, but their struggles remain invisible, hidden behind the noise and rush of daily life. Imagine walking these streets, carrying everything you own, and knowing that your most personal needs may go unmet. The world keeps moving, but for these women, time stands still as they search for safety, privacy, and dignity. We're talking about how homeless women manage their periods without access to basic hygiene products, something many of us take for granted. Imagine having to choose between buying food or a pack of pads, or searching public restrooms for scraps of toilet paper just to get by. For these women, every month brings a new set of challenges, and the struggle is both physical and emotional. The lack of privacy, the constant worry about leaks or stains, and the fear of judgment from others add layers of stress to an already difficult situation. Many are forced to improvise with whatever materials they can find, old rags, newspapers, or even socks, putting their health at risk and compounding their sense of vulnerability. Some women recount stories of using plastic bags or wadded-up tissues, knowing these makeshift solutions are far from safe or comfortable. Others describe the humiliation of being turned away from shelters or public facilities because of visible stains, or the anxiety of having to ask strangers for help. The choices are stark: spend precious money on menstrual products or go hungry, risk infection, or risk embarrassment. For mothers, the dilemma is even greater. Do they buy supplies for themselves, or save every cent for their children's needs? This isn't just an inconvenience, it's a monthly crisis that strips away dignity and forces impossible choices. The lack of access to menstrual products can lead to health risks, shame, and isolation. Without proper supplies, women are more susceptible to infections and other health complications, such as urinary tract infections, rashes, and even toxic shock syndrome. The emotional toll is just as severe. Many feel embarrassed, anxious, or even ashamed, withdrawing from social interactions and support networks. The stigma surrounding menstruation only deepens their isolation, making it harder to ask for help or advocate for their needs. Some women avoid shelters or community centers altogether during their periods, fearing ridicule or rejection. Others try to hide their situation, missing out on opportunities for support, employment, or connection. The cycle of shame and silence is relentless, and it's a reality that's hard to imagine unless you've lived it. Yet for so many women, it's a constant part of life, one that erodes their confidence and hope, month after month. Let's pull back the curtain, listen to real stories, and honor the strength and resilience of women facing this challenge. By understanding their experiences, we can work together to create change, foster compassion, and ensure that no woman has to face this struggle alone. Through awareness, advocacy, and collective action, we can break the silence and help restore dignity to those who need it most. Across the country, grassroots organizations and volunteers are stepping up, distributing hygiene kits, lobbying for free period products in shelters and public restrooms, and creating safe spaces for women to share their stories. But the need is great, and the fight is far from over. This is not just their fight, it's a call for all of us to stand together and make a difference. By supporting these efforts, challenging stigma, and demanding policy change, we can help ensure that no woman is left behind, and that dignity is a right, not a privilege. As we move from the introduction, let's pause and truly imagine what it means to get your period while living without a home. For most, a period is a temporary inconvenience. Maybe you forgot a pad at work, or you need to make a quick stop at the store. But for women experiencing homelessness, it's a completely different reality. There's no bathroom nearby, no clean water, and no money for menstrual products. What's a passing discomfort for many becomes a constant, overwhelming challenge. For homeless women, menstruation isn't just a monthly hassle, it's a relentless ordeal that touches every part of daily life. You search through your belongings, hoping to find anything that might help. Maybe there are a few napkins from a fast food restaurant or a piece of cloth you can tear up. Public restrooms are often locked or require a purchase, and even if you find one, it may not be clean or safe. The simple act of managing your period becomes a daily struggle for dignity. Many women are forced to improvise with whatever materials they can find, old socks, newspapers, even leaves, risking infection and discomfort just to get through the day. For homeless women, menstruation is not a minor inconvenience. It's a recurring trauma that brings fear, shame, and physical discomfort every single month. The lack of access to basic hygiene products and private spaces means that what should be a normal, biological process becomes a source of deep distress. Many women describe feeling trapped, unable to move freely or participate in daily activities, constantly worried about leaks or stains that could draw unwanted attention or ridicule. Every month, women are forced to make impossible choices. Do they spend their last few coins on food to quiet their hunger, or on tampons and pads to manage their period? Do they risk their safety searching for a private place to change, or do they stay in public, exposed and vulnerable? These are choices no one should have to make. Some women resort to skipping meals or going hungry just to afford a single pack of pads, while others go without any protection at all, enduring the physical and emotional consequences. The shame and stigma surrounding menstruation create a wall of silence. Many women feel too embarrassed to ask for help, fearing judgment or ridicule. This silence forces them to suffer quietly, hiding their pain and discomfort from the world. The fear of being found out or mocked for their situation leads many to isolate themselves, further deepening their sense of loneliness and invisibility. One woman told me she'd stay in the same spot for days, terrified that moving would cause leaks or draw unwanted attention. She described the constant fear of being seen, of being judged, and of being unable to control something so basic and human. For many, the anxiety is so intense that they avoid seeking help or even moving to safer locations, putting themselves at greater risk of harm. Another woman described using wadded-up napkins as makeshift pads, feeling less than human with every makeshift solution. She spoke of the humiliation and the sense of isolation that came with not having access to the most basic necessities. Makeshift solutions often lead to rashes, infections, and long-term health problems, but for many, there is simply no alternative. This is not just about physical discomfort, it's about dignity, mental health, and basic human rights. The emotional burden is immense, and the injustice is stark. No one should have to endure this kind of suffering simply because they don't have a home. The constant stress and humiliation can lead to depression, anxiety, and a profound sense of hopelessness. The financial strain is another layer of this complex issue. Many homeless women have to choose between buying food or menstrual products. The cost of tampons and pads can be prohibitive, and the lack of affordable options exacerbates their struggle. This financial burden adds to the already overwhelming stress of living without a home. In some cities, organizations try to distribute free products, but supplies are limited and often run out quickly, leaving many women without any support. Access to public restrooms is another significant challenge. Many restrooms are locked or require a purchase to use. Even when accessible, they are often not clean or safe. This lack of access forces women to find secluded areas to manage their periods, increasing their vulnerability and exposure to potential harm. Some women report being harassed or threatened while trying to use public facilities, while others are forced to go without any privacy at all. The emotional toll of this struggle cannot be overstated. The constant worry about leaks, the fear of judgment, and the humiliation of using makeshift solutions take a significant mental health toll. Many women feel isolated and dehumanized, unable to talk about their struggles due to the stigma surrounding menstruation. The lack of open conversation means that many suffer in silence, believing they are alone in their experience. The lack of support and understanding from society only deepens this sense of isolation. Homeless women often feel invisible, their struggles overlooked and their voices unheard. This lack of visibility and support perpetuates a cycle of suffering and silence. Without community awareness and compassion, these women remain on the margins, their needs unmet and their dignity denied. Addressing this issue requires a multifaceted approach. Providing free or affordable menstrual products, ensuring access to clean and safe restrooms, and breaking the stigma surrounding menstruation are crucial steps. Society must recognize and address the unique challenges faced by homeless women, ensuring they have the dignity and support they deserve. This means not only policy changes, but also community action, donating products, volunteering, and advocating for better facilities and resources. By raising awareness and taking action, we can make a significant difference in the lives of homeless women. Providing basic necessities and support can help restore their dignity and improve their quality of life. It's time to break the silence and address this hidden struggle with compassion and urgency. Every woman deserves to manage her period with dignity, safety, and respect, no matter where she lives. When faced with the harsh reality of having nothing, homeless women are forced to become resourceful in ways most people never imagine. Without access to proper menstrual products, no pads, no tampons, no clean underwear, they must improvise with whatever materials they can find. Folded toilet paper from public restrooms becomes a makeshift pad, sometimes layered again and again in hopes of lasting just a few hours. Worn-out socks, left behind on park benches, are repurposed as absorbent liners, despite their rough texture and questionable cleanliness. Single paper towels, picked up from the ground or scavenged from public bathrooms, are pressed into service, even though they disintegrate quickly and offer little protection. In moments of desperation, even plastic bags are torn and shaped, wrapped around underwear or clothing to create a barrier, an uncomfortable, sometimes dangerous solution, but one that feels better than nothing at all. These items, never meant for such use, become lifelines in moments of crisis, a testament to the ingenuity and determination of women who refuse to let their circumstances strip them of basic dignity. Each month, the cycle repeats, bringing with it a new wave of anxiety and problem-solving. Women become inventors out of necessity, piecing together dignity from society's scraps. Fast food napkins, often grabbed in handfuls from dispensers, are layered with whatever absorbent material is available. Sometimes even newspaper, cotton balls, or scraps of clothing torn from old shirts. Discarded fabric, found in alleyways or donated by strangers, is cut and folded, then held in place with safety pins, rubber bands, or even strips of plastic. The process is painstaking and often humiliating, carried out in public restrooms, behind dumpsters, or in the shadows of city parks, where privacy is scarce and judgment is constant. For many, the fear of leaking through improvised protection is a daily reality, leading to stained clothes, embarrassment, and the constant need to check and readjust. Managing a biological need becomes a daily battle for self-worth, a struggle to maintain a sense of normalcy and dignity in a world that too often looks away or pretends not to see. The risks are real and constant, and the consequences can be severe. Using improvised materials, especially those that are dirty or not meant for prolonged contact with the skin, can lead to discomfort, painful rashes, and even serious infections like toxic shock syndrome or urinary tract infections. Many women are forced to reuse materials, washing them in public sinks or rivers, often without soap or clean water, increasing the risk of illness. Yet the alternative, bleeding through clothes in public or going without any protection at all, is unthinkable. Still, these women persist, their determination shining through exhaustion and uncertainty. It's a testament to their will to survive, their resilience, and their unwavering fight for dignity, no matter the cost. Their stories remind us that periods are not just a private matter, but a public issue of health, equity, and humanity. Survival on the streets demands a constant state of readiness, and for homeless women that means developing a set of refined, creative techniques to manage their periods with whatever is at hand. Over time, they become experts at improvisation, learning to fold toilet paper, napkins, or even torn-up t-shirts into layered pads for maximum absorbency. Some women craft reusable cloth pads from old clothing, carefully washing and drying them in public restrooms or out in the open, while others rely on rolling up socks or using plastic bags as makeshift barriers. Emergency kits are assembled with whatever can be found: plastic bags for disposal, extra underwear, a small bottle of hand sanitizer, and even a marker to label Ziploc bags for organization. These kits are tucked away in worn purses, hidden pockets, or even inside shoes, always ready for when the need arises. Many women keep track of their cycles using small calendars, scraps of paper, or even free apps on donated phones, so they can prepare in advance as much as possible. Every bathroom trip is carefully timed and planned, often requiring women to wait for hours or travel long distances just to access a clean restroom. They memorize the schedules of public facilities, anticipate closures, and sometimes even coordinate with others to take turns watching for security or lines. Some women keep mental maps of the city, knowing which parks, libraries, or fast food restaurants are most likely to have available restrooms, and which ones are safest or most welcoming. When public restrooms are closed or unavailable, women may have to improvise in alleyways or behind buildings, always on alert for safety and privacy. The constant uncertainty and urgency add another layer of stress to an already difficult situation, making every successful bathroom trip feel like a small victory. These hard-earned skills are not kept secret, they're quietly shared, passed from woman to woman in hushed conversations on park benches, in shelter hallways, or during brief moments of privacy. Advice is exchanged on everything from the best folding techniques to which public restrooms are open late, and which stores are most likely to offer free supplies. Supplies are traded, pads for wipes, tampons for painkillers, or even just a few minutes of privacy, in a safe spot. New arrivals are gently taught the tricks that can make all the difference, from how to avoid leaks to how to stay clean and healthy with limited resources. These moments of connection and mutual support help build a sense of community and solidarity, even in the most challenging circumstances. This body of knowledge is born from necessity and resilience, a testament to the ingenuity and strength of women who refuse to let their circumstances define them. Through shared wisdom and mutual support, they find ways to endure, adapt, and survive, even in the harshest conditions. Each technique, each piece of advice, and each act of kindness becomes part of a collective survival strategy, empowering women to face the daily challenges of homelessness with courage and dignity. Their resourcefulness and solidarity not only help them manage their periods, but also foster hope and connection in a world that too often overlooks their struggles. In the isolating struggle of homelessness, community becomes a powerful force, one that offers hope, comfort, and practical help when it's needed most. For many women living on the streets, the simple act of coming together can make all the difference. Pads and tampons are shared, not hoarded. These essential items, often scarce and difficult to access, become symbols of mutual aid and compassion. Women look out for each other, quietly passing along what they can spare, sometimes even splitting a single box among several friends. In these moments, women become distributors, spreading resources and empathy throughout their circles. They organize informal swaps, share tips on where to find free supplies, and even pool their money to buy products in bulk. This network of support transcends individual struggles, creating a sense of unity and shared purpose. Laughter over period disasters, like unexpected leaks or makeshift solutions, helps forge bonds and relieve stress. These moments of shared humor and understanding are vital for emotional well-being, offering a brief escape from daily hardships and reminding women that they are not alone in their experiences. These informal networks are lifelines, built on trust, solidarity, and the shared understanding of what it means to navigate menstruation without a home. They offer a sense of belonging and security in an otherwise harsh and unpredictable environment where official support is often lacking. In shared vulnerability, their spirit becomes unbreakable. Together, these women navigate the daily challenges of homelessness with resilience, resourcefulness, and grace, proving that even in the toughest circumstances, community can be a source of strength and hope. For homeless women, a bathroom is far more than just a place to relieve oneself. It's a rare sanctuary, a fleeting moment of privacy, safety, and dignity in a world that so often ignores their most basic needs. The simple act of finding a restroom becomes a daily ordeal, one that is fraught with uncertainty, anxiety, and sometimes even fear. Unlike those with stable housing, homeless women cannot count on having a safe, clean, and private space when nature calls. Instead, they must navigate a city that often seems designed to keep them out, where public restrooms are scarce, and many facilities are locked behind customers-only signs or require a purchase just to gain entry. The lack of access to restrooms is not just an inconvenience, it's a constant threat to health, hygiene, and self-worth. For women, the stakes are even higher, as the need for privacy and cleanliness is magnified during menstruation or when dealing with other health issues. The fear of being seen, judged, or turned away adds a layer of humiliation to an already difficult situation. Libraries and certain fast food restaurants become temporary safe havens, offering a brief respite from the streets. But even in these places, time is limited. Staff may monitor who comes and goes, and the threat of being asked to leave lingers. Judgment is constant, and the feeling of being unwelcome is hard to escape. For many, these moments of relief are overshadowed by the pressure to move on quickly. The reality is that these spaces are not designed for rest or recovery. They are stopgaps, not solutions. Women must often wait in long lines, sometimes only to be told the restroom is out of order or reserved for paying customers. The humiliation of being denied access, especially during menstruation or when dealing with other health needs, can be overwhelming. In some cases, women are forced to plead with staff, explain their situation, or even offer to clean up in exchange for a few minutes of privacy. The emotional toll of these interactions can be immense, reinforcing feelings of invisibility and exclusion. Over time, women learn to memorize which places are accessible and at what hours. They keep mental maps of friendly locations, noting which doors might be open early in the morning or late at night. This knowledge becomes a lifeline, but it's never guaranteed. Policies change, doors lock, and routines are disrupted without warning. Some women share tips with each other, forming informal networks of support, but the information is always shifting. A restroom that was open yesterday might be closed today, and a sympathetic staff member might be replaced by someone less understanding. The constant need to adapt and strategize adds another layer of stress to an already difficult existence. In some cities, women have developed coded language or signals to let others know which restrooms are safe or available. These networks can be a source of solidarity, but they also highlight the precariousness of relying on word of mouth and luck for something so essential. The simple act of using a bathroom, something most people take for granted, becomes a high-stakes operation. Every attempt carries the risk of embarrassment, confrontation, or even danger. The stress of not knowing where the next restroom will be found weighs heavily, turning an everyday necessity into a source of constant worry. For women experiencing their periods, the stakes are even higher. Without access to a restroom, managing menstrual hygiene becomes nearly impossible, leading to discomfort, health risks, and further erosion of self-esteem. The fear of leaks, stains, or being noticed adds to the anxiety, making each day a test of endurance. Some women are forced to improvise, using public spaces, alleys, or secluded corners, risking fines, harassment, or worse. The lack of safe, accessible restrooms can also lead to medical complications, such as urinary tract infections or other health issues, compounding the challenges they already face. Public spaces rarely consider the needs of the most vulnerable. For homeless women, the lack of accessible restrooms is not just an inconvenience, it's a daily reminder of their exclusion from the city's care and compassion, and a challenge that demands resilience, resourcefulness, and hope. Information is not just helpful, it's a lifeline for women experiencing homelessness. In a world where resources are limited and the risks are constant and unpredictable, knowing where to go, who to trust, and how to stay safe can mean the difference between security and danger. Without access to formal support systems, these women have developed their own methods of survival, relying on each other to share crucial knowledge and warnings. Over time, they have built intricate informal intelligence networks, complex webs of trust, communication, and mutual aid that operate quietly beneath the surface of daily life. These networks are maintained through whispered conversations in the shadows, coded messages exchanged in passing, and subtle gestures that only those in the know can interpret. For example, a woman might quietly mention a newly opened public restroom to a friend, or warn others about a dangerous individual seen nearby. Sometimes a simple nod or a look is enough to communicate a warning or an invitation to a safer spot. These exchanges can happen anywhere, on street corners, in crowded shelters, in the back of a bus, or even while waiting in line at a soup kitchen. The information is always current, always shifting, and always vital. Word of mouth is the primary channel, but technology also plays a role. Some women use prepaid phones or borrowed devices to send quick texts or share locations, while others rely on handwritten notes or even chalk marks to signal safe places or hidden dangers. These networks are not only efficient, they are absolutely essential. They allow women to adapt quickly to changing circumstances, avoid trouble, and find the few safe havens that exist in an otherwise hostile environment. The information shared can mean the difference between a night spent in relative safety or one marked by fear, cold, and uncertainty. Warnings about unsafe places, aggressive individuals, or upcoming police sweeps are passed along with urgency and care. For instance, if someone hears about a violent incident at a particular shelter, word spreads fast, and women will avoid that location for days or weeks. If police are clearing out an encampment, a single message can ripple through the network, giving others time to move their belongings and find a safer spot. This living, breathing safety net is often the only line of defense against the unpredictable threats of life on the streets. This collective vigilance, born out of necessity, creates a sense of community and shared responsibility. Women look out for each other, forming protective circles when someone is vulnerable, or taking turns keeping watch while others rest. These acts of solidarity fill the gaps left by formal systems that often overlook or fail to protect them. It is a testament to the resilience, creativity, and resourcefulness of women who refuse to let isolation or fear define their lives. Community and communication become powerful tools for survival, forging bonds that offer not just information but hope, comfort, and a sense of belonging in the face of adversity. In these informal intelligence networks, every shared word, warning, and gesture is an act of care, a quiet form of resistance against a world that too often ignores their struggles. Through these networks, women find strength in each other, proving that even in the harshest conditions, solidarity and compassion can light the way forward. For women experiencing homelessness, managing clothing during their periods is a daily challenge that requires constant vigilance and creativity. Clothing becomes the last line of defense when access to menstrual products is limited or unreliable. Many women deliberately choose dark-colored pants, skirts, or long dresses, knowing these colors are better at concealing stains and can help them avoid unwanted attention or embarrassment in public spaces. The process of selecting what to wear is not just about comfort or style, it's a strategic decision made every day, often with very limited options. Layering is a common tactic. Some women wear multiple pairs of underwear, or add extra skirts and pants, hoping to create a barrier against leaks. This can mean wearing several layers even in the heat of summer, leading to discomfort, overheating, and sometimes even skin irritation or infections. Others may tie sweaters or shirts around their waists as a backup plan, ready to cover up any accidental stains at a moment's notice. The constant need to adapt clothing choices to the unpredictability of their periods adds another layer of stress to an already difficult situation. Laundry is a constant and often overwhelming challenge. With little or no access to private washing facilities, women must improvise, washing their clothes in public restrooms, at water fountains, or even with bottled water purchased or collected from public sources. Drying clothes is equally difficult. Hanging damp clothing on fences, bushes, or in hidden corners of the city is often done late at night or early in the morning to avoid drawing attention or risking theft. Even basic supplies like soap or clean water can be hard to come by, forcing women to use whatever is available, sometimes just rinsing with water or using hand soap from public bathrooms. The risk of having clothes stolen or being confronted by authorities or passers-by is always present, adding to the anxiety of an already stressful process. Every step, choosing what to wear, finding a place to wash, waiting for clothes to dry, and even carrying spare clothing, requires careful planning and resourcefulness. The fear of visible stains or unpleasant odors is a constant worry, making it difficult to rest, relax, or feel comfortable in public. Many women report feeling isolated or ashamed, avoiding social interactions or public spaces during their periods to minimize the risk of embarrassment. The lack of privacy and security means that even basic acts like changing clothes or checking for stains become complicated, stressful tasks that must be done quickly and discreetly. This hidden labor, managing clothing, improvising laundry, and constantly adapting to unpredictable circumstances, is an exhausting and often invisible part of the monthly struggle for women experiencing homelessness. It's a cycle of vigilance, adaptation, and resilience that goes largely unnoticed by the world, but shapes every aspect of their daily lives. For women experiencing homelessness, clean, dark clothing is as valuable as gold, traded, shared, and scavenged with care and intention. These garments are not just about comfort or style, they are shields against the elements, tools for dignity, and sometimes a means of safety and invisibility. Dark colors are especially prized as they help conceal stains and wear, allowing women to move through public spaces with less scrutiny and judgment. The process of finding suitable clothing is ongoing and often exhausting, requiring constant vigilance and resourcefulness. Donation bins and drives are critical lifelines, providing access to essential clothing that many would otherwise go without. These events are often organized by local charities, faith groups, or grassroots organizations, and can be the only opportunity for some women to replace worn-out garments or find weather-appropriate attire. Volunteers and donors become silent partners in survival, their contributions rippling through the community. The impact of a single warm coat or a sturdy pair of shoes can be profound, offering not just physical protection, but also a sense of being seen and cared for. Once collected, these finds are carefully redistributed within the community. Clothing is exchanged based on need, size, and season, with women looking out for one another, sometimes even setting aside items for friends who couldn't make it to the drive. Informal networks form, where word spreads quickly about new donations or upcoming drives, and women coordinate to ensure everyone gets what they need. Acts of kindness, like sharing a rain jacket or saving a pair of boots for someone with the right size, strengthen bonds and foster a sense of solidarity. Storage is strategic. Every item must earn its place. With limited space in backpacks, carts, or lockers, women must constantly weigh the value of each piece, prioritizing warmth, versatility, and the ability to blend in. Bulky items may be left behind in favor of those that can serve multiple purposes, like a sweater that dibbles as a pill on isaw a lobatos at pikeo on ser, or a scarf that can be used for warmth and privacy. The risk of theft or loss is ever present, so clothing is often hidden or packed in creative ways to avoid drawing attention. This informal economy is another example of the complex social structures built for survival. Through cooperation, negotiation, and mutual support, women create networks of resilience, proving that even in the harshest conditions, community and resourcefulness can flourish. These clothing exchanges are more than transactions. They are moments of connection, where stories are shared, advice is given, and hope is renewed. In a world that often overlooks their struggles, these women find strength in each other, building a fabric of support as vital as the clothes on their backs. For many homeless women, menstrual pain isn't just uncomfortable, it can be excruciating, overwhelming both body and mind. The sharp cramps, throbbing aches, and waves of nausea that come with periods are hard enough in the best of circumstances. But on the streets, without access to even the most basic pain relief, these symptoms can become almost unbearable. There are no over-the-counter painkillers, no heating pads, and rarely even a private, safe place to rest. Every cramp is magnified by the cold, the hard surfaces, and the constant need to stay alert. In the absence of medication, women are forced to improvise with whatever is available. Some fill plastic bottles with hot water at public restrooms, clutching them to their stomachs for a few moments of warmth. Others seek out heating grates or subway vents, hoping the rising steam will ease their pain, even if only for a short while. Stretching against cold brick walls, wrapping scarves or extra clothing tightly around their waists, or rubbing their lower backs, these become makeshift remedies. Sometimes a backpack or a rolled-up jacket serves as a pillow, offering a brief chance to rest aching muscles. But these moments of relief are fleeting, and the pain often returns stronger than before. Movement and rest become a delicate, exhausting balance. Too much walking can make the pain worse, but staying still for too long can draw unwanted attention, or even mean losing a safe spot for the night. Some women try to keep moving, hoping the distraction will dull the pain, while others are forced to stop and rest, closing their eyes and focusing on steadying their breath. Even as exhaustion sets in, the need to remain alert and aware of their surroundings never fades. The fear of being harassed, robbed, or forced to move on is always present, making true rest almost impossible. It's a constant negotiation with their own bodies, pushing through discomfort, searching for any form of relief, and holding on to determination in the face of relentless pain. Some women find strength in brief moments of solidarity, sharing advice or comfort with others in similar situations. But for most, surviving their period is a daily battle, fought without the basic comforts so many take for granted, like a warm bed, a hot shower, or a simple painkiller. The physical pain is only one part of the struggle, but it is a reminder, every month, of just how hard it is to survive without a home. For women experiencing homelessness, managing menstrual pain is rarely a solitary task. Instead, it becomes a collective effort, deeply rooted in shared knowledge, creativity, and mutual support. With limited access to conventional pain relief, women often turn to herbal teas, brewed from whatever leaves, roots, or flowers they can find, sometimes foraged from city parks or donated by volunteers. These teas, though simple, offer not just warmth and comfort on cold days, but also a sense of ritual and normalcy. Remedies are often improvised. A scarf donated by a stranger becomes a makeshift heating pad, or a plastic bottle filled with warm water is pressed to the abdomen to ease cramps. Essential oils, when available, are shared sparingly, dabbed on wrists or temples, or inhaled to provide a moment of relief from pain or anxiety. In the absence of medication, women teach each other how to locate and press pressure points on the hands or feet, passing on techniques learned from friends, family, or even online resources accessed at public libraries. Breathing exercises, practiced together in parks or tucked away in quiet corners, become a daily ritual. These exercises not only help manage pain and anxiety, but also foster a sense of calm and control amid the unpredictability of life on the streets. Beyond physical remedies, emotional support is just as vital, sometimes even more so. The pain of menstruation is often compounded by feelings of isolation, vulnerability, and shame, especially when living without stable shelter. In these moments, women turn to each other for comfort, a hug on a cold morning, a shared blanket on a park bench, or a gentle hand rubbing a sore back. Laughter, even in the face of hardship, becomes a powerful tool for breaking tension and lifting spirits. Women create informal support networks, checking in on each other, sharing stories, and offering words of encouragement. The simple act of listening, of being present and attentive, can make a world of difference when resources are scarce and the world outside feels indifferent. Sometimes, a reassuring touch or a few kind words are enough to remind someone that they are not alone in their struggle. Solidarity and validation are powerful tools in the face of adversity. When women share their stories and struggles, they remind each other that their pain is real and that they are not invisible. Group conversations, whether formal or spontaneous, provide a safe space to express fears, frustrations, and hopes. Through these exchanges, women find validation and understanding, an antidote to the stigma and silence that often surround menstruation, especially in the context of homelessness. This sense of belonging, of being seen and understood, helps them endure not only the physical discomfort of their periods, but also the emotional weight of their circumstances. In these moments of connection, women draw strength from each other, building resilience that carries them through even the harshest conditions. Community wisdom becomes a form of healing, passed from one woman to another and strengthened with each new experience. Through shared stories, practical advice, and creative problem-solving, women build a collective resilience that transforms hardship into strength. Workshops and informal lessons, on everything from making reusable pads to finding safe places to rest, empower women to take control of their health and well-being. In these small acts of care and connection, hope and healing take root, even in the most difficult circumstances. The knowledge that they are not alone, and that their community stands with them, gives women the courage to face each new day, no matter what challenges it may bring. For many homeless women, dumpster diving is not just a last resort, it's a calculated risk they take to survive. The act itself is fraught with danger, from the threat of injury to the fear of being confronted by store employees, security, or even the police. Yet, when resources are scarce and shelters run out of supplies, searching through dumpsters behind pharmacies, grocery stores, and convenience shops sometimes becomes the only way to find desperately needed menstrual products. Women often study store schedules, learning when shipments arrive and when unsold goods are discarded. They arm themselves with gloves, grabber tools, and flashlights to minimize the risk of cuts, infections, or exposure to hazardous waste. Some even create makeshift hooks from found materials, adapting to whatever the environment provides. Every unopened box of tampons or pads is a hard-won victory. The relief and joy of finding a clean, sealed package can be overwhelming, offering a brief moment of dignity and control in an otherwise unpredictable world. Dumpster diving is a stark symbol of the harsh realities these women face, forced to search for basic necessities in society's waste, simply to manage a natural bodily function. The process is methodical and determined. Each dive is a calculated operation, balancing the need for supplies with the ever-present risks of injury, illness, or confrontation. Safety is always top of mind. Many women work in pairs or small groups, watching each other's backs and sharing lookout duties. They move quickly and quietly, always alert to the possibility of being discovered. Over time, informal communities form. Women share tips about which stores are most likely to discard sealed products, the best times to search, and how to avoid trouble. They look out for one another, pooling resources and information to make the process safer and more efficient. The relief of finding a clean, sealed package is immense. For many, it means avoiding infection, embarrassment, or the need to improvise with unsafe alternatives. These small victories are celebrated and shared, reinforcing bonds within the community. Yet, the constant fear of being caught or injured never truly fades. The threat of fines, harassment, or violence is always present, making every dive a nerve-wracking experience. Injuries are common: cuts from broken glass, scrapes from sharp metal, or even more serious wounds. Confrontations with store staff or passers-by can escalate quickly, adding to the already heavy burden these women carry. Despite all these challenges, homeless women persist. Their determination to maintain their health and dignity in the face of adversity is a testament to their resilience. Through resourcefulness, community, and sheer willpower, they continue to fight for the basic necessities that so many take for granted. When a woman experiencing homelessness stumbles upon a rare stash of period supplies, perhaps a handful of pads from a donation box at a community center, or a few tampons discovered in a public restroom, she almost never keeps it all for herself. In these communities, the act of sharing is not just a gesture of kindness, but a survival strategy. Supplies are often quietly distributed among a trusted circle of women, each one acutely aware of how difficult it is to find these essentials. Hoarding is rare, not only because there's little space to store extra items, but because the need is so widespread and the bonds of solidarity are strong. The women know that next time, it might be them in need, relying on the generosity of others. Distribution happens quietly, often in the shadows, on park benches, in alleyways, or behind the privacy of a shelter's door. There's an unspoken code: be discreet, be quick, and always look out for each other. Efficiency is key, as lingering too long or drawing attention can put everyone at risk, whether from theft, unwanted questions, or even harassment. Sometimes supplies are passed hand to hand under blankets at bus stops, or exchanged with a subtle nod and a quick gesture in a crowded shelter. The process is almost invisible to outsiders, but for those involved, it's a lifeline. Once received, supplies are sorted and stored with meticulous care. Each item is counted, divided, and sometimes even repackaged to make them easier to hide or share later. Some women will break open a box of pads, wrapping each one individually in plastic or fabric scraps, so they can be distributed one at a time. Organization is crucial. One lost tampon or pad can mean the difference between comfort and crisis, especially when the next opportunity to find more might be days or weeks away. Women often create small kits, grouping together a few pads, tampons, and wipes, ready to hand off to someone in need at a moment's notice. Hiding these supplies is a daily ritual, shaped by necessity and caution. They're tucked deep inside backpacks, stashed in waterproof bags, or concealed in places only the owner knows, under benches, behind loose bricks, or even inside clothing. Some women hide their supplies in the lining of their jackets, or inside shoes and boots, to keep them safe from both theft and the elements. The threat of theft is real, and the elements, rain, heat, or cold, can ruin precious products in an instant. For those sleeping rough, finding a dry, secure hiding spot can be a constant challenge, and many women check their stashes daily to make sure nothing has been disturbed or damaged. Even a handful of tampons or pads are guarded like treasure, Some women use old mint tins, pill bottles, or secret pockets sewn into their clothes to keep their supplies safe. Others might wrap products in layers of plastic or fabric to protect them from moisture and prying eyes. Every item is precious, and losing even one can feel devastating, especially when it means facing days without protection, risking discomfort, embarrassment, or even infection. The emotional toll of losing supplies is heavy, and many women develop elaborate systems to keep track of what they have and where it's hidden. For these women, period products are more than just supplies. They are keys to dignity, comfort, and a sense of control in an unpredictable world. Each shared pad or tampon is a small act of hope, a reminder that even in the harshest circumstances, community and compassion endure. The simple act of sharing or receiving a period product can restore a sense of normalcy and self-worth, even if just for a moment. In a world where so much is uncertain, these small acts of care and solidarity become a powerful source of resilience, helping women face each day with a little more strength and a little more hope. For women experiencing homelessness, the introduction of reusable menstrual products, such as menstrual cups, cloth pads, and period underwear, can be nothing short of transformative. These products offer a powerful alternative to disposable pads and tampons, which require constant resupply, are often expensive, and can be difficult to access through shelters or donation drives. With a single menstrual cup or a handful of cloth pads, a woman can manage her period for months, sometimes even years, dramatically reducing both the financial burden and the stress of searching for supplies every month. This shift can mean the difference between feeling trapped by an unpredictable cycle and gaining a sense of control and freedom over one's own body. However, the reality of using reusable products while homeless is far from simple. Cleaning a menstrual cup or rinsing cloth pads requires reliable access to clean water, soap, and privacy, resources that are often scarce for those living on the streets or in crowded shelters. Many public restrooms, when open, may lack basic amenities like soap or paper towels, and some close at night, leaving women with few options for maintaining hygiene. The fear of being seen or judged while cleaning these products in public spaces adds another layer of anxiety, making what should be a private act a daily challenge. To overcome these obstacles, women have developed creative and resourceful strategies. Some carry extra water bottles specifically for cleaning their menstrual cups or rinsing cloth pads, knowing that access to running water can't be guaranteed. Others use public microwaves and shelter kitchens to sterilize their cups, timing their cleaning routines for late at night or early in the morning when fewer people are around. Cloth pads are often discreetly hung to dry on backpacks or in hidden corners of parks, and water is sometimes collected from public fountains or restrooms whenever possible. These improvisations require constant vigilance and adaptability, as women must always be on the lookout for safe, private moments to tend to their needs. The process of managing periods with reusable products is far from straightforward. It demands careful planning, resourcefulness, and sometimes even courage to navigate public spaces while maintaining personal hygiene. Many women form informal support networks, sharing tips and advice on how to clean and store their products discreetly, or where to find the most reliable public restrooms. For some, the ability to pack clean, reusable pads or a menstrual cup into a small pouch brings a sense of relief and dignity that is otherwise hard to come by. These small victories, like finding a safe place to clean or dry a product, can make a significant difference in a woman's sense of self-worth and autonomy. Ingenuity and resilience turn barriers into solutions. For many homeless women, mastering the use of reusable menstrual products is not just about hygiene. It's about reclaiming agency and hope in the face of daily adversity. Each act of resourcefulness, from finding water to sharing knowledge with others, is a testament to their strength and determination. In a world that often overlooks their needs, these women are quietly redefining what it means to survive, and even thrive, during one of life's most basic, yet challenging, experiences. For many homeless women, the idea of switching to reusable menstrual products like cups and pads is filled with challenges that go far beyond just preference. The most immediate and obvious barrier is the upfront cost. While a menstrual cup or a set of reusable pads can last for years and ultimately save money, the initial price tag, often $20, $30 or more, can be impossible to afford when every dollar counts. For someone living day to day, even a small expense can mean going without food or other essentials. This makes it difficult to justify spending on something that doesn't provide immediate relief. But the financial hurdle is only the beginning. Maintaining reusable products requires consistent access to clean water, soap, and private spaces, resources that are often scarce or completely unavailable to people experiencing homelessness. Imagine trying to wash a menstrual cup in a public restroom where the water is cold, there's no soap, and you're constantly worried about someone walking in. Or picture having to dry a reusable pad in a crowded shelter, or worse, outdoors, where privacy is non-existent and the risk of theft or embarrassment is high. These practical challenges can make the idea of using reusables feel overwhelming, even if the long-term benefits are clear. There's also the fear of infection or health complications. Without proper cleaning, reusable products can harbor bacteria, leading to potential health risks. Many women worry about not being able to keep their products clean enough, especially when they have to hide them in their bags or dry them in unsanitary conditions. The stigma and embarrassment around periods only add to the stress, making it even harder to ask for help or advice. That's why donation programs and peer education are so crucial. Organizations that provide free or subsidized reusables, along with clear, easy-to-understand instructions and ongoing support, help break down these barriers. For example, some outreach groups not only distribute menstrual cups and pads, but also offer demonstrations on how to use and clean them safely, and provide written guides in multiple languages. They may include small bottles of soap, portable water containers, or discreet storage bags in their hygiene kits, making it easier for women to manage their periods with dignity. When women see others in their community using these products successfully, it makes the transition feel possible. Peer educators, often women who have experienced homelessness themselves, can share practical tips, answer questions, and offer reassurance. This kind of support is especially important for women who may feel isolated or ashamed about their periods, or who have never seen a menstrual cup or reusable pad before. Hearing practical tips and honest stories from women with lived experience builds trust and confidence. These conversations help demystify reusables, address concerns about hygiene, and offer real-life solutions for cleaning and storage, even in challenging circumstances. For example, some women share how they use bottled water to rinse their cups, or how they dry pads inside their jackets to avoid embarrassment. These small creative solutions can make a big difference. Peer-to-peer support is the bridge to real change. When women lift each other up, share resources, and offer encouragement, it creates a ripple effect, empowering more women to try reusables and reclaim dignity during their periods, no matter their circumstances. By building a community of support and understanding, these women are not only overcoming practical barriers, but also challenging the stigma and silence that so often surround menstruation. Together they are proving that with the right resources and support, every woman can manage her period with confidence and pride, even in the most difficult situations. For countless homeless women, the challenge of managing their periods is not just a matter of discomfort, it's a recurring crisis that can feel insurmountable each month. Without reliable access to menstrual products, many are forced to make difficult choices, using makeshift materials, going without, or turning to the streets to ask for help. In these moments, some women resort to panhandling specifically for menstrual supplies, crafting handmade signs that clearly state their needs. Need tampons, pads, please, or help with hygiene products, and positioning themselves outside pharmacies, drugstores, or on bustling sidewalks where foot traffic is high. Their hope is that by being direct and visible, they might catch the attention of someone willing to help. The responses these women receive are as varied as the people who pass by. Some pedestrians avert their eyes, hurrying past without acknowledgement, while others offer a sympathetic smile, a few coins, or, on rare occasions, a box of pads or tampons. There are moments of genuine connection, when a stranger stops to ask what is needed most, or even offers to purchase products from the nearby store. But, just as often, women are met with indifference, judgmental stares, or even harsh words questioning their motives or dignity. The unpredictability of these encounters adds another layer of stress to an already difficult situation, making each attempt to ask for help a gamble. For these women, the act of asking for menstrual products is deeply personal and often humiliating. It means exposing a private, intimate need in a public space, risking not only embarrassment, but also the possibility of being shamed or ignored. Many describe the experience as a last resort, something they do only when all other options have been exhausted. Yet, it is also a strategic decision, one that requires careful calculation about where to stand, what to write on their signs, and how to approach strangers. Each time they reach out, they weigh the risk of humiliation against the hope of relief, knowing that even a single act of kindness can make a world of difference. When someone responds with compassion, the impact is immediate and profound. A donated box of tampons or pads can mean not just physical comfort, but a sense of security and dignity that lasts for weeks. For many homeless women, these small acts of generosity are about more than hygiene. They are reminders that they are seen, respected, and cared for, even if only for a brief moment. The relief and gratitude they feel can be overwhelming, and for some, it's the difference between enduring another month in shame and facing it with a renewed sense of hope. In a world that often overlooks their struggles, These moments of kindness stand out as powerful affirmations of their humanity. For many homeless women, there are days when every possible strategy, from makeshift pads crafted out of toilet paper, socks, or even newspaper, to asking for help at shelters or public restrooms, simply falls short. Sometimes supplies run out, shelters are closed, or the fear of rejection and humiliation keeps them from asking for assistance. When there are no period products, no safe spaces, and no one to turn to, they are left with no choice but to go free. This means facing their period with absolutely nothing to manage the bleeding, no pads, no tampons, not even a clean piece of cloth. The reality is harsh, clothes become stained, and there's no way to stay clean or dry. Many women try to find secluded spots outdoors, away from judgmental eyes, but privacy is rare, especially in crowded cities where every corner is watched. Some attempt to use public restrooms to clean up, but these are often locked, monitored, or simply too unsafe to linger in. The fear of being seen or even harassed adds another layer of anxiety to an already humiliating situation. For some, the only option is to use whatever is at hand. Old newspapers, plastic bags, or even leaves, despite the risk of infection or discomfort. The emotional toll is immense. Shame, isolation, and trauma become daily companions. Many women describe feeling invisible, or worse, judged and dehumanized by those who pass by. The constant worry about body odor, visible stains, or being found out can lead to deep embarrassment and self-loathing. Coping becomes a matter of damage control, trying to stay hidden, sitting on cardboard or old blankets, and avoiding any contact with others. Some women even avoid eating or drinking to reduce the need to use public restrooms, further impacting their health. For some, the only option is to wait out the bleeding, hoping for rain to help wash away the evidence, or for nightfall to offer a little more privacy. The constant fear of being noticed, shamed, or even assaulted makes every moment a struggle. Stories abound of women being forced to walk for hours, searching for a safe place to sit, or being forced to discard soiled clothing and continue on with even less than before. The risk of infection, rashes, and other health issues is ever present, yet often ignored by the world around them. It's the starkest illustration of what's at stake: dignity, self-respect, and the basic right to manage one's own body. For these women, going free is not a choice, but a last resort, a daily reminder of how society fails its most vulnerable. The lack of access to something as basic as period products is not just an inconvenience, it's a public health crisis and a human rights issue. Until we address these gaps, countless women will continue to suffer in silence, forced to endure the indignity and danger of going free every month. Despite the relentless challenges they face each day, uncertainty, discomfort, and the constant search for safety, what shines through most is the remarkable resilience and ingenuity of these women. Every morning, they wake up not knowing what the day will bring. Whether they'll find a safe place to sleep, a meal to eat, or even a moment of peace. Yet in the face of these daily hardships, they summon a strength that is both quiet and profound, refusing to let their circumstances define their spirit. With limited resources, women transform scraps and discarded items into essential survival tools, showing creativity in the face of adversity. A plastic bag becomes a raincoat, a cardboard box turns into a mattress, and a broken umbrella is repurposed for shade or shelter. They build informal networks of support, sharing what little they have and looking out for one another, creating a sense of community where none is provided. In parks and shelters, women exchange tips on staying safe, share hygiene products, and pool their knowledge to navigate the complex web of social services. These acts of mutual aid are not just about survival, they are about dignity, agency, and the determination to care for one another in a world that too often looks away. Even in deprivation, they find ways to share laughter, generosity, and empathy. Humor becomes a lifeline, a way to cope with hardship and maintain dignity. Jokes are told to lighten the mood during long, cold nights. Stories are shared to remind each other of better times and to dream of a brighter future. Acts of kindness, offering a meal, a listening ear, or a comforting word, are woven into their daily lives, reminding each other of their shared humanity. In moments of crisis, a simple gesture, like sharing a cup of coffee or a warm scarf, can mean everything. These small acts of solidarity help to build trust and foster hope, even when the world outside feels indifferent or hostile. Their story is one of extraordinary strength, quiet grace, and the unwavering power to find light in the darkest of circumstances. Each day, they rise to meet new obstacles, drawing on inner reserves of courage and hope that inspire those around them. Whether it's helping a newcomer navigate the streets, standing up for each other in the face of danger, or simply refusing to give up, these women embody a resilience that is both fierce and gentle. Their ability to find beauty in small moments, a sunrise over the city, a shared song, A word of encouragement speaks to a deep well of hope that cannot be extinguished. These women deserve not our pity, but our deepest respect and admiration. Their resilience, humor, and humanity are a testament to the indomitable spirit that persists, even when the world turns away. They remind us that strength is not just about surviving, but about lifting others up, finding joy in the midst of struggle, and holding on to hope when it seems most elusive. Their stories challenge us to see beyond stereotypes and statistics, to recognize the vibrant, complex individuals behind every face, and to honor the courage it takes to keep moving forward, day after day. For too long, the daily struggles of homeless women have remained invisible, especially when it comes to managing their periods. This hidden struggle demands urgent action from all of us, not just as individuals, but as a society that values compassion and justice. Homeless women often lack access to basic menstrual products, which can lead to severe health issues and emotional distress. Period poverty is not just an inconvenience, it's a human rights issue that affects health, self-esteem, and the ability to participate fully in daily life. No one should have to choose between buying food and buying menstrual products. The lack of access to these essential items can lead to infections, missed opportunities, and a sense of shame and isolation. You can make a difference by supporting organizations that provide menstrual products to those in need. Whether you donate supplies, contribute funds, or volunteer your time, your help directly restores dignity and comfort to women facing these challenges every month. Organizations like Period Equity and the Homeless Period are leading the charge in providing these essential services. Just as important, we must break the silence and stigma around menstruation. Talk openly with friends, family, and your community. By sharing stories and raising awareness, we can foster understanding and inspire others to join the cause. Education and open dialogue are key to changing perceptions and creating a supportive environment for all. Let's turn empathy into action, standing together in solidarity to demand policy changes, support local initiatives, and ensure that menstrual products are accessible to everyone, regardless of their circumstances. Advocacy can lead to legislative changes that mandate the provision of free menstrual products in public restrooms, shelters, and schools. Imagine a world where no woman has to choose between food and dignity, where every person can manage their periods safely and with pride. Thank you for listening, and for being part of the movement to bring dignity, compassion, and hope to all. Together, we can create a future where menstrual equity is a reality for everyone. Period poverty is a challenge no one should face alone. Across the UK, countless organizations, volunteers, and everyday people are working to ensure that everyone, especially homeless women and those in need, can manage their periods with dignity and support. From free products and safe spaces to helplines and community drives, help is out there, and every effort matters. Whether you're seeking support or looking to make a difference, there are practical steps you can take. Reach out to local charities, shelters, or helplines for help, or donate, volunteer, and spread the word to support others. Every action, big or small, helps break the silence and stigma around periods and brings us closer to a world where no one is left behind. Together we can create real change. Start a conversation, share resources, donate products, or volunteer your time. Your support can transform lives. To learn more, check the video description for resources, links, and ways to get involved. Let's stand together, raise our voices, and ensure dignity for all. Period poverty ends when